Bob DeBoo here with Building Blocks of Bass. Thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited about today because we get to talk about a legendary bass player, Oscar Pettiford. So as people trickle into the room, I'm just going to ruminate a little bit about, Oscar Pettiford and his importance in the lineage of bass players, as well as just the music itself. Oscar Pettiford was there at the beginning of bebop. Thelonious Monk, Dizzy Gillespie. He's actually, I think, older than Dizzy Gillespie and was an influence on him. But Oscar Pettiford, let's just get some visuals in here. Oscar Pettiford was a phenomenal bass player that inspired many, many, many bass players, right? We got another good picture in here. Check out this guy. So he taught himself to play the bass, which is incredible. He started off like he was like a child prodigy, singing. He was playing in like his family's band as a kid, and taught himself the bass. Apparently, because he said that he didn't think anybody was playing the bass very well. Something to that. He was really assertive. We'll say it that way. But we're talking about Oscar Pettiford today, and we're going to check out his famous composition entitled Tricotism. So Tricotism is in the bass lexicon. Like it's maybe not a standard. It's a minor standard as far as the jazz world is concerned. I think a lot of people know it, especially guitar players, and we'll talk about why maybe. But in the bass world, it's pretty much a standard. It's one that a lot of people learn, and wanted to get into that today, talking about some good fingering concepts, rhythmic concepts, how I would practice it, or recommend practicing it to a student, or how I do it basically, So that's the idea. But we're going to talk about how there's some different versions of Tricotism out there. And we want to be aware of them, like knowing the history, knowing the lineage, of course, is super important. I'll show you the first time that I heard it was from this album. And this is, of course, Ray Brown, the All-Star Big Band, guest soloist, Cannonball Adderley. Tricotism on here is just amazing. We'll check out some of the phrasing that Ray uses on here. And I always thought, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but I always thought Ray kind of like rephrased it himself until it went back a little while back and checked out the original. I always thought that the Lucky Thompson version, and this is not, I don't think this is the original cover at all, but this is the version with Lucky Thompson. I know you probably can't see that super well. Lucky Thompson's amazing sax player, but it's from this really cool recording where it's just sax, Lucky Thompson, Oscar Pettiford on bass, and Skeeter Best on guitar. And so it's super clear, so a lot of bass players, or at least I, learned it originally from that, and I think the original cover looks like this. So Lucky Thompson featuring Oscar Pettiford. This is 1956. So I'm into, like checking out the dates. Where does it fall lineage-wise? What's the history? What influenced, or what records influenced who, right? So I learned it originally this way, and we're going to learn it that way too. I can just see my hand. But we're also going to talk about the original, which comes from this record. The Oscar Pettiford, this is 1954. Also, the Oscar Pettiford Modern Quintet, I think, is the way that it's put. So anyways, and we're going to talk about some different variations. If you have any questions or any Tricotism stories, questions, Oscar Pettiford stories, anything like that, I'm super down. Of course, Oscar wrote a lot of compositions. He was really, really prolific, actually. In this album that I showed you a second ago, I'm just showing off all my wax. I was up late listening to Oscar last night. But this album is super cool. And if you don't know much about Oscar Pettiford, check him out. He also was an early pioneer of playing the cello. He apparently broke his arm, couldn't play the bass, the upright bass, and found a cello, I guess, in a store and started playing that. And it was just easier for him to come back to. And he made it part of his bag, right? So this record is super cool too because there's a harp on it. He wrote a lot of the arrangements or the compositions as well. And he also is playing this cello. He's overdubbing himself. I don't know the year. I should have looked up earlier. I was saying I like checking out the years. I'm failing on the year of this. Somebody let me know. But he's overdubbing himself playing electrified cello with vibrato on. It's just super cool, and he's overdubbing himself over like a big band, not like a traditional big band, but like a different type of thing. He liked to use French horns, harps, of course, electrified cello with vibrato, and using overdubs. And he's super ahead of his time, ahead of the curve, composition-wise, bass playing-wise, incredible bass player. And so many people go back to saying that he was a major influence. And you can, if you listen to Oscar Pettiford and then go listen to somebody like Ray Brown, you're going to hear a direct lineage. You listen to, I mean, and that's with so many bass players too. So we're going to check out some Oscar Pettiford today. All right. So you can check out the link down below. You should be able to find a link to the PDF for all the musical resources we're going to use today. Also you can see some links down below to get to Christian McBride's new course, Your Sound is Your Signature. Check it out. It's an incredible course just released by openstudiojazz.com. It's Christian's second course for the website, but it's incredible. Just the amount of depth that goes into what he put into this course should not be missed by any bass player. So also I wanted to mention that I have my Building Blocks of Bass course coming out in the next few weeks. It's been a little delayed, but just for quality control. So it's on its way. If you like these sessions, the Building Blocks of Bass, just stay tuned, because we're going to be doing, my own course will be released soon on openstudiojazz.com. Okay, without further delay, we're going to check out a little bit of Tricotism. So we're going to learn it just like 2 bars at a time. I'm a big fan of, taking, I like to use this analogy, taking small bites, thoroughly chewing them up. All right? If you've got a hamburger, you may want to eat that whole sucker like right away, depending on the day, right? Or, veggie burger, whoever you are. But, it's best, and Mom always said, take small bites and thoroughly chew them, like 20 times or something, right? Anyways, I'll stop talking about chewing food. Let's practice this, okay? So I also wanted to include some of my concepts, or just, my thoughts on fingering. A lot of times you'll find charts, and of course there won't be a fingering concept, or you won't see a fingering suggestion. So I wanted to include that here. If you click the link below, you can find my PDF with the original, with my fingerings, but I have different versions of this too. I don't see that anywhere else. If you hear Ray Brown play Tricotism, it sounds different, than anybody else. If you hear Niels Henning Osted Pedersen play it, it's different than Ray played it. So there's a bunch of different versions, and I included a lot of that into these transcriptions. So check it out. Without further ado, let's play the first phrase. Try to get it under our fingers, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I've got the and of 4 because it's leading into the next phrase. So a lot of these phrases start on the and, right? The and of 4, the and of 4, and of 4 again. And I just want to put this on repeat for a little while. We can probably leave it without this F for right now, because that's going into the next 2 bars that we're going to study. But play this with me. My metronome is set at an arbitrary 60. How original. 60 beats per minute on 2 and 4. So we're just doing it at 120. This is not, that click is not in relation to the record at all, but these transcriptions are. This is not from a fake book or whatever. This is, I did all these. So let's try it again. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you listen to Ray on that Big Bound album, he'll phrase it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. He really leans into that and of that guy right there and that guy right there. The end of the phrases, he really leans into those. So now, in most of the versions that I've heard, or checked out at least, these first 2 bars don't get played with much variation other than that. Okay? But let's check out. Oh, I just lied. This bar right here does get variated, and we're going to check that out real quick. So basically, this is that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the way that I just had up was the way from the Lucky Thompson album, okay? Which also, it gets played that way a bunch because bass players learn that version, other musicians learn that version too, and that is this. But if you listen to that original, going back to this again, this album, and this album, and this album, and this album, okay, then all of that gets typically played with this type of arrangement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So it's just rephrased. So make sure you're going and checking out these recordings to make sure all that makes sense. I didn't put a fingering here, my bad. I'm playing like a 4, and there's like a little glisten to it. Maybe 2, 4. Okay? Cool? Now, I didn't say yet, but it's of course, I think a given. If you have any questions, comments, put them up, you know, I'll check them out at the end after we've gone through a little bit more of Tricotism, okay? All right, so that's the first 2 bars. We're already, you know, a little ways into it, right? 2 bars. Let's check out bars 3 and 4. So now, prior to this C, there was an F. And you can find this if you go check the link down below. You can get a PDF of all this. But there's an F preceding this, but just for the sake of the space of the screen, I wanted to have 2 bars here, okay? So let's check out the fingering really quick too. That F, I have first finger, and you could let me know how you like to do this, right? There's no one way to fingering in any of this. Some of them are better than others, but so I've got F with the first finger, C with fourth, B flat with my first finger, and then the open string, G, and then that lets me shift down to F with my fourth finger now because I'm shifting down. So then open D into E flat first finger, open G again, C with the fourth finger, B flat with your first finger, open G, 1, 4, and that's the E flat up here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you could close these G's, right? And if you're thinking about transposing these guys too, you probably don't want to use the open strings, or it's easier to not use the open strings when it comes to switching keys. You know, this is what I think he's probably doing, using these open strings to bounce around and get a little bit more flavor in the composition and as well as his solo, okay? So again, we've got this F in front of it. Let's try this through three times. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. One more time, go. Okay? Cool. Okay, so now this is another crucial thing to learning tunes, right? Try to get off the page. So let's do those first 2 bars, and then the 3rd and 4th bar. Let's do it the Lucky Thompson way first. Remember that's not the... So let's do the Lucky Thompson way first, and then we'll do the original Oscar Pettiford way, and the Ray Brown, and the N Hop, and everybody. So here's the Lucky Thompson version, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. One more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Now let's try it with the Ray Brown and well, actually the original Oscar Pettiford way, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm misspeaking. Okay, so I need to clarify this. Big clarification. So you check out the chart. The variation on the 2nd bar comes at the 2nd A. So this is an A, A, B, A form. The first A is that Lucky Thompson way that we just did, okay? The variation comes in the 2nd A and the last A. okay? When that happens, it's not the first A. And if you check out the chart down below, it clarifies that. If you listen to the recording, it's instantly clarified, right? So, let's back this up a little bit, okay? That's going to be the second A and the last A section where we do the. So I apologize for any miscommunication there, but again, hearing the recording, that's key, that's crucial. That will clarify that for you instantly. But that's what I was at, okay? All right, so that's the first 4 bars. Let's do it once more, just to be cool. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so that's the first A section, pretty much the way that everybody plays it, okay? The variation comes in the second A and the last A. All right, let's move on. Let's check out bars 5 and 6. Now, there is some variation here, okay? In the original Oscar Pettiford version, the one from 1954, I hear him playing a G natural leading into this. In the previous chart that I had was more the way that I hear Lucky Thompson playing it, and it's hard to tell if Oscar is playing a D flat or a G to my ears. If anybody has an opinion, please let me know in the comments below. I'm super down. All right, but let's play it the Lucky Thompson way, so putting a D flat in front of this. All right, and so I've got this idea with, and there is variation in here too between the versions. And I don't want to muddy the waters, but I just want to make the point that it's really important to check out different versions of a song and not just get it from a chart, or not just check out one, you know, like think that one recording, well, it may be the definitive one, but realize that there's different versions that are out there, right? And so we really need to respect that and try to learn from all of them, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this is a really common way that I hear this done. We've got D flat, second finger, to G flat, 2 times with the second finger as well. You could play this a myriad of ways, and I'm going to talk about a different variation in a minute. To the 4th finger, that's A flat on the 4th finger, and then I like to do this. So 4, 4, 2, 1, 1. You could do this a different way, a couple different ways too. Well, I like that one. And you're enclosing this B flat. That's the goal note right here at the end, right? B natural, A natural to B flat. Let's try it again. Let's try it a few times through just what's on the screen right now. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's do it again. So 1, 2, 3, go. How about one more time? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now let's try it without this on the screen. 1, 2, 3, go. I realized I just played a B natural with my pinky there. These fingerings, to me, they can be variated. They can change. You know what I mean? Sometimes it makes more sense too. So, but talking about the original 1954 version, I hear Oscar doing this. Which is slightly different. That's in the PDF down below. So click that link, go grab that, because I don't have a screenshot of that. So we can talk about it though. He's playing an open G. Pretty clearly it's an open G. The variation is here too. It's a little muddy in the recording, but it sounds like, and that's A flat, B flat, G flat. He could be doing A flat, B flat, A flat, F, B, A, B flat. So again, the variation, the 1954 version, Oscar Pettiford, it sounds a little bit more like this. All right. There is yet another version, and that's in the PDF below. I don't want to muddy the waters too much, but I'll just play it really quick, and you can check it out, and you can shoot back to this part of the video if you're interested. And that comes more from this recording that you absolutely, if you're a bass player, you need to check this out. Sound of the Trio, Oscar Peterson Trio with Ray Brown and Ed Thigpen. All right. So, and that's a really common way that I hear this being played, like on this album too. Every bass player needs to check this out. Chops, Joe Pass, Nils Henning, Ørsted Pedersen. I'm still learning how to say his name 30 years now. But N-Hop, another way. And of course, we're checking out the Ray Brown version. So please, please, please check out all these recordings. Buy the albums, you know, find them somehow. Borrow them from your friends. Listen to them. Very important. So again, that other version, and that's in the PDF down below. That's the first ending, okay? Did I write that? No, I didn't write that out yet. This is the first ending, or we didn't talk about it yet. So we're coming from back to the Lucky Thompson version. I know I'm backtracking a lot, but hopefully this is making sense. That's this right here. So he's outlining an A7 chord. He's arpeggiating 1, 3, 5, 7, 13, you know, 5, 9, 1, and into the A flat of the next chord. This A flat is the 5 chord leading back to the D flat. So this is the first ending. This is the end of the first A section. I like open, 4, 1, open, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1. So let's try this a few times, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it without looking at the screen. That's great. Let's take that away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, try this with me now. Let's try the whole first A section from the top going down to the first ending, okay? Now, we're gonna do it the Lucky Thompson way, okay? Without the variations. I'm talking too much about that. I'm probably just confusing the matter. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the first A section. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, go. Right? Okay, so now let's learn the second A. So we're just going to talk about the second ending, basically. So now he's trying to get to the 1 chord right here, that D flat. That's the home key. This whole song is in D flat. So this second ending, and a lot of times in 32 bar tunes, A, B, A, a lot of times that's going to do that. It's going to hit the home key before it goes somewhere else for the bridge. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I hear open, open, 1, 4, 2, 1, open, 1, 2, 4. And I don't hear a lot of, like, when it gets faster, doing pull-offs like to make that work, the B flat to the A, and then the open G string, of course, that can help you to increase this speed here. But when we're practicing it a little slower, it's cool to just articulate all of those, right? But that's one place that you could put in like a slur pull-off type of idea. Let's try this a few more times through and then try to do it from memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. One more time. And And of course, there's a variation on this as well, but you can find that down below. It's kind of confusing to do all of them this way, but I'm just going to leave that for right now. So check out of course, the Ray Brown version, the other versions that we've talked about today. But let's stick with the Lucky Thompson from here on out, just not to muddy the waters anymore. All right? So you remember that second ending phrase? Let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. One more time. 3, 4. Okay, so now let's try the whole second A, meaning doing the A section, and we can talk about there being that little change in the way the melody is often phrased, going to the second ending. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one more time, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so that would get us to the bridge. Now the whole thing is all together like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And sometimes like this. So if you have any troubles with any of that, just go back, check it out, check out the PDF down below. Let's check out the bridge really quick, okay? Again, 2 bars at a time. I'm just going to move a little bit quicker here because I've been ruminating too much about everything already, all right? Here's the bridge. It's starting off on an A7 chord. Numerically, whatever you want to call that, it's a half step higher than the 5. It's close by to the 5 chord. It's another way to think about it. It's got a cool lift to it. But he's arpeggiating, and this first note is debatable, whether it's an octave higher or down here. I hear the original 1954 version, I hear him playing this down here. With Lucky Thompson, I hear Lucky Thompson playing that A up an octave. The difference between and this. So it's not a huge difference, but it is a difference, right? So those types of things, to my ears, and if you're really trying to, be involved with it, it makes a difference. So, it's good to know. Let's play this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So he's from the root to the third, 5, 7, that 13 again, 5, getting back down to the third, that D is a passing note to the C sharp. And again, these open strings in the key of D flat, super crucial, right? So C sharp, E, G, 9, 1. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1. Again, 1. Okay, now the other way that you could maybe do that is that Lucky Thompson way, playing this A up an octave, but it's a little bit trickier with the jump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's a variation that you could do there, right? All right, first 2 bars cool. First 2 bars of the bridge cool. Let's check out bars 3 and 4. Now, in front of this, I only wanted to do 2 bars at a time on the screen, like I said, right? So in front of this, there's a G natural. So open G leading into this A flat, okay? Which is the 5th of the D chord. Again, the open G, 1, 4, 1, 1. And then this 4 is leading us down to F. So he's kind of thinking like F7, flat 13 type of idea because we're heading to B flat minor this way, okay? So we've got 1, 1, open, 1, 4, 1, 1, open, 1, 1, open, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 2. Okay, so check out that fingering real quick. And now I think it's important to think about how you're phrasing this too. You know, as I'm sitting here playing it, I'm not playing it like at this tempo. If I was playing it much faster, I might need to straighten that out a little bit. Like if this was beats 4, which I'm not gonna do on YouTube, but if it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, that speed, right? The in hop speed, you would straighten it out a little bit. But at this tempo, you put that little bit of lilt in your eighth notes. And listen to the recording. And play it along with the recording and you'll really get that vibe, right? Let's play this through a few times. So again, there's an open G leading into this A flat. Most of the phrases start on the ands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And it's heading to a B flat. I should have said that. That C is heading to a B flat. Let's try this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And again, I took it off the screen. As soon as you can, get away from the page. That's always the way. You want to train your ears to hear that. Right? The more you internalize that orally, like being able to poorly sing that, like I am, or just to be able to recreate it, you know, away from the page is best. That's how you're going to learn these tunes. All right, let's check out the next phrase. Here's over B flat, and it does look like descending root, major 7th, minor 7th, kind of down to the 3rd. This is a really common thing to do, like on a minor 6 chord. Minor with a major 7, minor with a minor 7, or a typical minor 7, and then a 5. But he outlines that here with this line. So we have a B flat minor chord, or triad. I'm playing it 1, 4, 2, 2, 2. 1, 4, 2, 2. And then the A natural. 1, 2, 4. Now this E flat going to F, you might say you could play this F with your pinky, but because the next note is D flat, I am going to my 2nd finger because that facilitates me getting to that D flat with my pinky. So 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. But if you find a better or a way that you like, let me know. You know, all of this is up for grabs. Let's play this phrase through. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. My bad. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, again. Cool. Okay, now let's back it up. You still remember the first bits of the bridge? Let's take it from the beginning of the bridge to where we just ended. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that may be a lot if you're not familiar with this tune. That's a lot to do already. But if you've been taking it in these small bites and putting them together, you know, go back. If you're having troubles like in these certain 2 bars, really iron those out, you know? If you've got the beginning of the tune together, you don't always need to go back to the beginning of the tune, right? Let's do this one more time. So the bridge up to where we just ended. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Great. All right, so moving on. There is a variation on this too, but we're just going to check out the Lucky Thompson version, okay? This is how Lucky's phrasing it. Also, in the PDF down below, you can find the way that Ray Brown, well, actually, the original recording, going back to the original Oscar Pettiford recording, which is where Ray gets all this stuff from, right? And the other recordings, actually, it all goes back to that. I think the Lucky Thompson bass player is just latched onto that, so that's probably where that's coming from. But let's check out this. So we're at a 2 chord. Remember we're in the key of D flat. So we've got E minor, it's a 2 chord, going to A flat 7, a 5 chord. So this is the last 2 bars of the bridge. So we've got an E flat minor, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, open, 4, 1. And now we're at the A flat. These notes here are like flat, sharp 9, flat 9. Sharp 9, flat 9, or you could think that this is an A7 chord right here. Kind of in a funny way, but it's A flat 7, flat 9, sharp 9, whatever you want to call that. And this note, the B flat, that may be a B natural. That half step leading into the C, that guiding like approach tone leading into that, it's up for grabs, how you're playing that. But let's play it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Now this is real quick, and this is the last probably thing that I'll really, this is the one I want to talk about. This is from the original Oscar Pettiford version. So know this, you know, like, well, whatever, know what you want to know, right? I think it's important to know this because that's, because we know where it's coming from. You know what I mean? Knowing the history, really going back and trying to just investigate. You know, to be musicians playing this music, I think you have to go back and really study the history to know where we're at, you know how to play this tune. I won't talk philosophically. All right, so I guess I just did. But here is the variation from the original Oscar Pettiford version. And the horns are playing this with him. So it's all bebop, right? He's trying to get to the third right there, that really clear chromatic approach. Then he plays this really kind of out, just Oscar plays this D. You just give it like a, you know, it sounds cool. And this is where we go back to the last A section. And that variation happens there too. So remember we're at the last A now. Right? So if we play the whole thing through now, let's just try it out, okay? We're gonna play the whole way through. If you've got that PDF down below, just play it. We're gonna play it the Oscar Pettiford Lucky Thompson version, okay? The one with the guitar without a drummer. And if any other questions coming up about the original OP version or any of the other variations, there are other variations and they're all out there, you know, so listen to them, but I'm giving you hopefully a good start on where to go looking for this stuff. But let's play the whole tune now, okay? And you notice we're keeping it at a pretty like chill clip, right? We're not going too fast. Listen to the different versions, especially check out InHop playing how fast he does. Just incredible. So, and if you find a particular version that you like, or if you have a particular version you like, let me know. Put it in the comments. Join the Facebook group. I didn't mention down below. We have the Building Blocks of Bass Facebook group, which you can join. You can get more information on what's coming up with our future sessions, and ask any questions. I check it out pretty often. So let's play the whole Tricotism now. This is Oscar Pettiford's Tricotism. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the version that is commonly, it's pretty commonly played. And it's from the Lucky Thompson version, right? All right, so I know that's a lot. I'm gonna hop over into the comments and questions. Hopefully we've got some fun things to talk about, okay? So, all right, David Thompson, looking forward to this. Let's see, Chris Harrison. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Really appreciate that. I am glad you like it. Hopefully you get a lot out of it. Yeah, Oscar's music, right? So good. Oscar Pettiford. So much goodness to check out. So, and you know, I didn't mention yet, and I'm not going to go too off. I'm not going to go too off into it, I promise. But check out Thelonious Monk's Monk Plays Duke album with Oscar Pettiford. So killing. If you've not heard it, check it out. Also, Sonny Rollins' Freedom Suite, Oscar Pettiford. There is so much Oscar Pettiford out there that's awesome. And I'm not even gonna try to say all the ones that I really like, but check out the Lucky Thompson, check out the Monk, check out the Sonny Rollins Freedom Suite. If you have another one that you're into, please let me know. There's of course other Lucky albums too that he's on too. So 7th Level, this is the deep stuff I want to dig into. Awesome. So let's dig deeper. Let me know what you're thinking. All right. Yep. Pink and Stone, love Lucky. Me too. What a sound, right? And he's I mean, it's beautiful. He's not as well known as he, you can say that about so many people, but he's really not as well known as he should be. I mean, what a sound, what a vibe. If you just, when we hang up here, or you can even bounce on over, go check out that Lucky Thompson version with Oscar Pettiford and Skeeter Betts. It's so good. I keep saying Betts, but it's Best, I think. My bad. Lucky Strikes. Good call, Pick and Stone. That's a great album. What gut G are you using? I knew this was going to come up. So, good eye, Graham. If you're still here. So, the rest of my strings are Eva Perazzi's. I know, super original, right? And my Eva Perazzi G, it unraveled last week. So, I dug back out. This is a Garbo, Velvet Garbo from before the company stopped making them, I guess. So, it's having a little trouble. It's only been on for a day and it's starting to dip a little bit, and but it's a Garbo. So, yep. Okay. Oh, this looks good. The original was named Tricotism, not Tricotism. Ah, interesting. That's cool, Riser. I hope I'm saying your name. I just read the way that it looks out loud. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. But I did see that written. If you check out that, where is it? I think on this version, on the back of that, I think they have it written the way that you have it written there with the A, which is interesting. So that's really cool. I wonder what the etymology of that is, like where that comes from. Okay. All right. So, Pick and Stone, what's up? Bob, you're one of the few people on YouTube that actually talks about macro time, using the metronome to mark the downbeat of a measure, every 2 measures, 4 and 8, so on. Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then you go on to say, which is, I think, really cool, because you're getting less information from the metronome, right? It's not unique to me. I learned this from somebody else. But basically, and I'm sorry, I'm just seeing your comment now, so hopefully you're still hanging out, Pick and Stone, all right? But there was a previous lesson where I talked, or a previous guided practice session, and you can find all of these back on the Open Studio YouTube channel, where I talk about time, and I'm really thinking about, like getting less information from the metronome. Especially earlier I was putting it, I didn't want to do this for the session because it seemed a little bit fast to learn this tune, but this is on 40 now. And with modern metronomes, you can make them go super slow, down to 5, stuff like that, which I like to do as well. Just kind of check myself. And then I like to turn the metronome off. You know what I mean? So, and hopefully this is you still being around, but so if I call this 4 and I put on Tricotism, play Tricotism. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a common way to do it too, right? Or calling that 1 if you're not as comfortable calling that 4 yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. right? And that, I mean, it helps us to it helps us to stay more accountable for our own, division of the time. So I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about, Pick and Stone. And if you want to talk more about it too, find me in the Facebook group. We can talk more about it there. But go check out the other, maybe if Andrew has, I don't know, if you want to try finding a link to that, you don't have to, Andrew. He's in the backstage helping us out today. But you can go to the YouTube channel for Open Studio and find my previous lesson where we talk about, I think I called it About Time. And it's basically that. We like play a blues or something, and we get the metronome down to where it's like stupid slow, like 15 beats per minute or something like that. But that's a way that I like to practice a lot. So it sounds like you're into it too. So that's very cool. Let's see. Yep. Ah, thank you. Yeah, Noah. Oh, that's so hip. It's 56. That's super hip that he's doing stuff like that in 1956. So that'd be the same year as the Lucky Thompson recording, I think. And Lucky's on that as well, right? So again, this job right here, so good. Ernie Wilkins is on it. So much. I don't want to misremember. There's so much Count Basie in this too, which is really interesting. He's big into Basie, and I don't want to misspeak. I think he played with him for a while, but there's just a whole lot of hip people on that. But the innovation, of course, of he's using harp in this, which is like like Debussy of the time or something like that, and then playing the electrified cello with tremolo on the amp, overdubbed over his own stuff. And to talk about that being in 1956, that's, just the overdubbing aspect, that seems very forward to me for that time period. So talking about Oscar Pettiford in those terms, talk about a pioneer, right? Not just of the writing, and the writing is amazing, and of course the playing is amazing. So thanks for looking that up, Noah. That's really cool. All right, TT, such a cool tune, definitely. Need to slow down a bit and come back to this, but just wanted to say I really appreciate the sessions. They always inspire me to put more practice time in. Great, that's really cool to hear. Thanks, TT. Same here. Every time I do these, I'm always like, okay, not just prior. Of course, I'm trying to practice prior so I don't make a of myself. But I also afterwards, I'm like, okay, I looking closer into that certain thing, and this happens with teaching, which I love about teaching or trying to explain what it is that you're thinking when you play music, is that you see things in a different way. So I really appreciate that comment. Pick and Stone. I love how Bob controls his time feel. Thank you. Sometimes ahead of the beat, sometimes more behind the beat. It's always grooving. Thank you. Yeah. So if you stay like right in the middle, there is, yeah. So particularly, where was I doing that? I was laying back towards the end of the phrases, right? And so that I think is more of like a natural type of thing. But the way you express your time, like a horn player would, I think is really interesting. And so I try to think along those terms. So hopefully that wasn't a sideways thing saying I'm playing out of time. It wasn't Pick and Stone, was it? No, I'm just kidding. No, I know you mean. So, great. Glasses? Oh, no, classes. Right on. I thought you were talking about my specs, man. Thanks, Ryan. No, seriously, thanks for checking us out, man. Really appreciate it. Cool. So there's lots of nice things. Thank you, Graham. Cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you, hopefully you're talking about the string, right? Hopefully it does sound good. Hopefully it's going to settle a little bit more. Cool. Okay, I do need to find this. Avishai played this live from Facebook. Find it in its page. I'm heading over there after this to go see that. Any other bass cats out there too? I just want to say, go up now and check out. Chris Potter has a live trio recording that they just did a few days ago. Chris Potter, amazing sax player, with Nashit Waits on drums and Joe Martin on bass. And I watched it last night, almost twice through entirely. It's so good, but it's only gonna be up a few more days, so go check it out. It's at Bar Bayou, I think, but look for the Chris Potter trio and go check that out. Joe Martin, just a monster bassist. But I don't know why I said that, but you were talking about Avishai, who is killing. I saw him with Chick Corea years and years ago. So good. Let's see. I tried to follow you, but it's the first time I play this tune, Mario. I understand. If I play it on electric bass, you recommend me do these fingerings. feels comfortable, but I wanted to know your opinion. Okay, cool. Well, Mario, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're checking it out. I don't know if I've ever played this on electric bass. I don't want to go too far into it, but let me just look at my fingerings. How can I do this? I don't have a strap for this job. I'd probably play it electric. I can tell you right now, I'd probably just play it the way that I've been shedding it on upright, because you can transfer that over. If you, and it was written on an upright bass, Mario. So I would think, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that. Some of the stuff you could play in a different way, especially if you played it up an octave, or if you played it in a different key. Me, myself, I'd probably just default to my upright tendencies, on the electric bass, because it works. It's maybe not the cleanest or the it'll be clean. So I think you can use these fingerings, but find the ways that you like and let me know about it. All right, Mario? So and if you want to talk more about it, just come to the Facebook group, hit me up, and I'd love to talk more about the fingerings. Okay? So I think they'd feel pretty comfortable on electric. Just to give you a definitive answer, though. Okay? All right. Thanks, Mario. Oh, okay, Pick and Stone. Yes. So you're talking about the previous lesson about time. We can talk more about it for sure. I'm running short on time for today. I don't want to keep anybody too long, but yeah. So that's really cool though. Let's talk more about it. I like using that macro time idea with my odd time signature practice too. By the way, we talk about putting that on 40, right? So that's giving us 1. Just another thing that I like to do. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da 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 ba da da da. That kind of idea. Just took me a minute because I'm live, of course. It's going to take me a minute to. Oh yeah, I practice this way all the time. Right? Anyone know where to buy the Lucky CD? Can anybody hook George up with where to find that? I don't know if it's on CD, George. I'm not sure. I have seen it. I have seen the vinyl a few times. I don't have a copy of it though. Ah, yes. So Scott mentioned. Oh, you studied with Rufus. That's awesome. That's really cool, Scott. Yeah, there's a great recording too. Of Rufus playing this. It's a great version. Reggie Washington playing this too, just completely solo. That's killing. There's a great version with Tom Harrell. There's so many people. Mike Richmond. So just go scour. Check it out. Find all the good Tricotisms. But that's really cool. I know Rufus Reed, big Oscar Pettiford fan as well. So that's really cool. Cool. All right, hold on. We just got a few more comments and I wanted to get into it. So Mario, just joined the Facebook Live. Cool. Hate to be that guy, but your bass sounds great. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. It looks like a gut G. Yeah, it's a Garbo. Talked about that a little bit a while ago. Caught the tail end of me going over it. Yeah, I'm not using a pickup. I'm using a Warm Audio. It's like a 47 tube mic here. It's down below, just off the screen. The EAD are Eva Perazzi's. They're not the Vike. They're the full size one. And then this is a Garbo that I've had just for a long time, and it actually just went on a couple days ago, so it's kind of blowing around. But I appreciate that, Marco. Thank you. Glad you like the sound. All right. Okay, I was wondering this too, JG. Always love the sound of these chord changes. Me too. Do you know if this is a contrafact of an older, more well-known tune? Thanks, Bob. Great stuff. Thank you. That's really cool. I was wondering that too. I don't know of another melody being played over this. A contrafact is when you play a melody over a familiar set of changes, like Evidence over Just You, Just Me, or there's countless versions of this. But it does just sound classic, right? We should make a contrafact of it. Write a new melody over these chord changes. They're just super good, right? But not that I'm aware of. but let's do some research. Let's see if we can't find it. Just getting more aware of time field these days and noticed yours. Oh, okay, cool, Pick and Stone. Right on. Oh, you said nope earlier, and I was trying to remember what you were referring to. But yes, yes indeed. So that's a good way to work on. I think that I work on time field that way. That's how I'll say that. Okay. What's up, Chris? Back. Thanks for introducing this great tune. Awesome. Yeah, Oscar Pettiford. Rufus's chart was entitled Tricotism. Sorry. I don't know if this is I have seen it spelled this way before too, with the R, the extra R there, Tricotism. And that's the way that Rufus has it? That's interesting. I wonder what that is. Cool. Hey, thanks again, Mario. What's up, Felix? Thanks for joining us. Glad you're here. Okay, so Scott did some research. The Lucky version is on iTunes. Yep. I don't know if the link down below is there or not, just because I don't see it, but or I don't see it from my platform that I'm using right now. But yeah, you can find the Lucky Thompson version on YouTube, of course. There's also, if you go check in NPR, there's a really cool, what's it called? I think we have a link for it below, maybe. But there's a really cool, like, nearly hour-long segment on Oscar Pettiford that I know Christian McBride was involved in it for his connection with NPR. But I wanted to say that it was from, like 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And maybe, go check that out, because I didn't hear all of it when I did, but there's some really cool stuff there, right? So maybe we can find that link. I could pull that back up. So cool. Music, my pleasure. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Always glad to see you. All right. This is the last one I'm going to do, and then I'm going to bounce. All right, y'all? So Marco Killen, thanks for the reply. What made you choose the Garbo versus an Olive-G? We're going to keep talking gear, Marco. Okay. No, so I've got some olives too. I'm not going to lie. They've just held on to them for a while. But it's I don't, I'm not. These days, I'll just be straight up. These days, I mainly use a whole set of Eva Perazzi's, because I play a lot more Arco these days, and the gut G, doesn't really work as well for me, and in certain groups that I'm playing with the bow as well. It's not as good with blending, right? But for the time being, I've got that G on there, So I really like that, but honestly, I've got another Eva Perazzi G on the way and another set of Eva Perazzis, so I'm sticking with that. At least for the moment, just for the clarity and the being able to play different styles, play Arco, a lot better. And if I'm playing with a pickup, I'm playing a Fishman full circle. You asked that earlier, I didn't say that. Fishman full circle, but I'm using a microphone. I'm not using the pickup for this stream. But yeah, so that's that. Cool. All right, last one for sure. This is Scott Marshall doing the course. Scott is checking out the Your Sound is Your Signature course with Christian McBride. Please check it out. It's super good course, and I'll shamelessly plug that I'm involved with it too. I do some guided practice sessions to talk about the concepts that Christian covers in his course. Not that it needs anything extra. We're literally taking the concepts that Christian's talking about in the course and finding ways to practice them at the end of the course. So check it out. You can find a link down below. Please keep your eyes open for my Building Blocks of Bass course coming out hopefully this month sometime, maybe next month. I don't know. It's coming out soon. And then check out Your Sound is Your Signature, of course. Really appreciate everybody checking us out. Chris is saying, have you tried the Olive G string? It's gut wound and still bows great. I haven't bowed on it in a long time. I played on it years ago, but I might have to pull it out and throw it on while I'm waiting on the Eva to come. So, but check out check out all the Open Studios courses. They're super good. Come join the Facebook group and join me next Monday. So for the next Building Blocks of Bass. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for all the great questions. Happy practicing. Take care.